He just ran up to Uncle John's grave, fell to his knees and started crying. Braden hasn't never been to his Uncle John's grave, so how could he just run straight to that grave when there's hundreds? He ran straight to it. It was like, this is where his body is, but not his soul, Mommy. He said, I dream about him every night. I feel like I'm him in my dreams. I said, son, you didn't even know your Uncle John. When I told him that, he just went crazy, hysterical on me. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was there. I was there the night he got killed. Nobody had ever spoke a word of Uncle John, his death, or anything to Braden. Braden was not alive when his Uncle John was killed. That's what made it so strange when Braden started saying unusual things. John was killed by a gunshot wound to the chest. It took an hour and a half for the police to get a hold of my grandmother. We had to follow the air vac to Memphis, Tennessee. But before we could get there, the police stopped us. He told us to turn around and go back to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Well, we thought he was gonna be okay, but he was already gone.
And then one day, me and Braden, we were just sitting outside talking. Braden said, Mom. My other two children call me Mama. John called me Mom. Braden reached his little hand up, put it on my jaw, and he said, Mom, it's me. John would always put his hands on my face like that, always. It was not Braden's voice. I broke down.
A week later, me and my grandma was laying on the bed with him, and he fell in between the bed and the wall. And I said, oops, you got a boo-boo now, don't you, son? He said, Uncle John got a boo-boo. Mama, he was murdered. He was shot in the back. Him didn't even know it was coming. I couldn't believe it because we was very cautious about talking about Uncle John's death in front of Braden. The things he was telling us and what the police said and the police report said was totally different. During the investigation, they said that Uncle John was shot in the chest from the front. But Braden said the guy went towards him and stuck the gun to his back and shot him. How could he possibly know that?
Everybody in my family would tell me these things, and I'd just laugh it off until Braden comes up and says, "Oh, Carrie, do you remember the time that we had the cooler full of tadpoles?" I said, "I don't remember me and you getting no tadpoles." He said, "Yeah, you do. Remember we set them over by the sink in the red and white cooler." I said, "Braden, we had never done that." "Yes, we have. You know we have. You don't remember?" And I got to sitting and thinking, I got it. That was me and John that done that. He swore up and down he was there. That's one story he had never had knowledge of. I believe that John came back as Braden. Well, no, Braden is my brother, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I went and got the box that the police had given us of John's stuff the night he died. I found his clothes. Well, I get the shirt. I noticed the front of it. It was just all blowed out, just like explosion, blasted. I mean, it was just shredded. I got to thinking, well, why is it shredded like that? He was shot in the front. And that's when I turned the shirt over. I got to looking for the hole and I found it. It was about as big as my pinky. And it had somebody drawed a perfect black mark around it. That's how close the gun was stuck to him. If it had been further back, any at all, that gunpowder would have. Braden said that John was shot in the back. There's no doubt in my mind, Braden knew what he was talking about. He was there. And then something else happened. Braden was with his aunt at a farm where this man was working. Braden, as soon as he saw him, he said, "Ain't he?" Annie, come here. And she thought something was wrong with him. She said, what is it, Braden? What's wrong? He got behind her and said, you see that man over there? That's the man who shot me. But the man they arrested wasn't the man that Braden described.
Did they arrest the wrong person?
That's when we were convinced that the story the authorities told us was not true.
We started to wonder if we could get the case reopened. So we decided to give all of the information Braden gave us to the authorities, but we haven't had a response yet. We all want justice for the man that lives in our hearts. Even if we can't get the case reopened, I need to find a way to find peace for my son, but I just hope it ain't too late.
My name is Braden and I'm 7 years old. I'm in the 2nd grade. Uncle John died across from a church where the high school is, and he died in a yellow house. I sleepwalk like John, I act bad like John, and how I know this is my dreams. John can go through me. I don't feel like him, but when he goes through me and stays in me, I feel like a ghost.
I feel like that John came back in Braden to let me know the story of what happened the night of his murder.
We're gonna go to the cemetery as a memorial to try to get peace with Uncle John and peace with Braden. We're gonna go as a family. I want Braden to be able to say goodbye and let go, and maybe he could find peace.
That's John's grave.
Right there?
Yes. Yeah.
God sent John back inside of you for what reason?
So he can tell me so I can tell the granny that he loves her and he misses her and...
Just all kind of stuff.
And I thank you so much. Braden is the most wonderful gift that this family has ever received.
So he says he misses going fishing with you, misses spending time with you.
I miss going fishing with him too, Brady. I love that boy so much, I ain't funny. And I live for my family. I love you, son.
I love you.
Now Braden understands that the past is the past and we don't have to hang on to it anymore. But he could be a 7-year-old normal boy.
Patience is a virtue, son. I believe he's going to let go of the past life. That's very comforting for me. I believe with all my heart, he's starting to become bright. Swing it hard and let go.